What is up, guys? It's your boy Shady Luke back with another video. And today we're going to take a look at some running backs who will be free agents after this 2023 NFL season. I know there's a lot of talk right now about running back pay, and it's something that does need to be talked about though. I mean, both sides have their fair arguments. Running backs do a lot from blocking to pass catching and running the ball. And I mean, certain running backs are good at all three of those things, which in their eyes, they see themselves as a higher value than the coaches and GMs believe that they're worth. The owners have their side as well though. Running backs really take a beating during the course of their careers. And unfortunately, their career longevity takes a hit from all that they're asked to do. Lots of people argue running back pay, but there's some people who say that anybody who can play running back, it just doesn't really matter. You know, you could put anybody back in that backfield and make it work with a good offensive line, which is a good point, but both sides have their fair argument, no question. And yes, while there are offensive lines that can make running backs really good, I honestly don't believe, I really don't believe you could just put anybody back there. Some of these guys are special, and some of these guys literally lift their offenses. Like some of these guys, their offenses are nothing without them. And I mean, man, I grew up watching guys like LaDainian Tomlinson, Reggie Bush, Jerome Bettis, the list goes on. These guys take a beating though, man. They take a beating back there. And after this season, there's a ton of noticeable names, and you just gotta ask yourself, where are these guys gonna go and who's gonna pay them the money they'll want? Or at least some of them will want that top dollar, especially guys like Saquon. And these running backs that I'm listing off on this list, they aren't from best to worst. We're just numbering off guys who are the noticeable free agents. Number 1, we got King Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry, since AJ Brown got traded to my Birds, is Tennessee's offense. He is the offense. I mean, dude is not your average back. He's 6'3", 247 pounds. Yes, if you didn't know that about Derrick Henry, he is 247. I know y'all remember that old picture of him standing next to Mark Ingram, looking like a giant. And man, he is incredibly hard for any defensive player to bring down. And not only that, he's really fast. He's really fast for his size. He's coming off a season where he rushed for 1,534 yards along with 13 touchdowns, and he had 349 attempts along with 398 receiving yards out of the backfield. Derrick Henry has taken a lot in Tennessee, so I don't know if Titans re-sign him or let him walk. Henry's incredible, but with the new general manager, Ran Carthon, who knows if they want to keep or re-sign him. I mean, he's 30 years old, and they're trying to build a young and productive offense. I know they signed D-Hop, but let's be real. Tennessee's trying to get young on that offense. All right, number 2, we got Saquon Barkley out of New York. Saquon has been dominant for the Giants when healthy, man. I mean, he's really good as a pass catcher, blocker, and a runner. And honestly, you're getting everything with him in your backfield. I mean, his quads are literal tree trunks. You hear announcers say that about running backs. Literally, they're massive, man. And it makes so much sense. I mean, look at his explosive way of running. His movements are very explosive. He rushed for 1,426 yards along with 12 touchdowns on 313 attempts. He had 415 receiving yards, and he's currently 26 years old. New York has the new head coach in the ball now, man, and things seem to be trending up for New York. And when he was with Buffalo, they never needed a star running back because they always had Allen. And I mean, you know, Allen does everything. Not all teams want that, but they had Allen. And I don't know if that mindset is carried over to the Giants, but with Saquon only playing 2 full seasons in 5 years since he's been in the league, I can see the hesitation from management to sign him to a long-term deal. Guess we'll see how that shakes out there, man. I mean, their offense isn't going to be good without him, I'll tell you that much. Next guy, Josh Jacobs out of Vegas. Josh Jacobs is another do-it-all guy. I mean, he's a violent runner too, dude. He runs angry for his size. 5'10", he's beefy. We all know this. But during his career, there's been times where their offense's weapons have literally just like disappeared in games. But nope, not Josh Jacobs. He's always there as assurance. In 2022, he rushed for 1,653 yards along with 12 touchdowns on 340 attempts and had 400 receiving yards. The Raiders had some talent at wide receiver, so without Jacobs, they could get by. Who knows how Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play, but I really feel like they need just a little bit of assurance on the ground, but what do I know? I mean, it's Josh McDaniels, and Josh McDaniels knows everything. And honestly, Josh McDaniels seems like he's adopted some of the Bill Belichick Patriot ways, so if that's the case, they probably won't pay Josh Jacobs top dollar after the franchise tag, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Number 4, we got Austin Ekeler from the Los Angeles Chargers. And Austin Ekeler has honestly had a silently productive career on the Chargers. And he's not like other backs. He's never rushed for over 1,000. He's gotten close a couple times, but he's never rushed for over 1,000. This last year, he rushed for 950 yards along with 15 touchdowns on 217 attempts. But this is where he's different from those other dudes. He had 717 receiving yards with 5 TDs. He's a straight force as a pass catcher. Austin Ekeler is almost about to turn 29. And the Chargers make Justin Herbert do so much. I wouldn't be shocked if they want a guy who can do more damage on the ground from them going forward. But with Kellen Moore, I don't really know what they will do offensively from their backfield aspect. Number 5, we got Tony Pollard out of Dallas. And I mean, Tony Pollard really blew up on the scene in 2022 when he was a primary back. Dallas would flirt with us, showing him behind Zeke, but Pollard was the guy in 2022. His explosive jump cuts and spins to create space is literally a sight to see, man. Like, just watching his workouts in the offseason, it's pretty dope. He rushed for 1,106 yards with 9 touchdowns on 214 attempts, along with 394 receiving yards and 3 TDs. Pollard is 26 and he's coming off a broken fibula. He broke in the divisional round game against San Francisco. And honestly, just from what I've heard, he should be good week 1. So, you know, with Dallas, he should be playing that, same level. How much does Dallas need Pollard? I don't know, because Dallas doesn't have Kellen Moore anymore. So, how much they'll rush or throw, I don't know. They gave Zeke a pretty hefty contract. Maybe they'll give Pollard a contract, but not on that insane level again. So I guess we'll have to see. Number 6, we got Jonathan Taylor out of Indy. And I mean, he's another tough back, dude. He really got a lot of attention from his 2021 season where he rushed for 1,800 yards. And I mean, JT is fun to watch. He's really the only highlight reel player on Indy. That's just in my opinion. Sorry, Indianapolis fans. He missed some games this last year, though. Ended the season with 861 rushing yards with 4 TDs, along with 143 receiving yards. With Anthony Richardson just being drafted, I'd assume they'd want a back who can feast on the ground to help their young QB, but that I don't know. With JT only really missing a couple games in 2022, I'd imagine they'd want to keep him around. But then again, like I said, I don't know. Jim Irsay is a very active owner, so who knows what he'll want, along with him and Chris Ballard, especially with Chris Ballard possibly being on the hot seat. I mean, there's plenty of noticeable running backs who are going to be free agents this upcoming year after the season. I mean, just look at this list. Names like Gus Edwards, Devin Singletary, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Swift, Deontay Foreman, Boston Scott. The list goes on. The list goes on, man. In the NFL, in the players, they will need to find a way to settle this situation for the running back position. I mean, there's got to be some way they can create like a fair market value they can come up with. I mean, lots of these guys carry so much value, good O-line or not, it don't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand both sides. I completely understand both sides. But I'm a player guy, and I mean, man, look at San Francisco with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, yeah, those San Francisco fans, they be acting up towards us Philly fans a little bit. They salty about that championship game. But aside from that, look how much better CMC made their offense. And they're already a running offense. He made their offense that much better, and they already have star power, man. Running backs matter. Running backs matter. I don't care what anybody says. They do matter. Where do you guys think some of these guys will go or stay? I'm sure some of you guys would like to see them on your team. So, drop a comment down below. Anyways, guys, it's your boy Shady Luke. Thanks for watching. I'm outie. Like the video and subscribe if you want to come by me in future videos. I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.